I was not supposed to touch the queen's armor. Not because it was sacred, though it was, but because it belonged to someone whose life mattered more than mine ever would. The Aegis Regalia was the most advanced combat exosuit ever forged in the Helioran Kingdom, a fusion of ancient royal craftsmanship and post-singularity technology. It amplified strength, accelerated reflexes, sealed wounds, and projected kinetic barriers strong enough to stop orbital fire. It also nearly killed her. When the queen returned from the frontier campaign, the armor was cracked along the thoracic spine, its internal nanoforge burned out, its neural sync scorched almost beyond recovery. Med-clerics swarmed her. Generals shouted. Courtiers whispered. And some very important someone, pointed at me and said, "You. Fix it." That was how I ended up standing alone in the royal armory at 2 a.m, sleeves rolled up, hands trembling, staring at the Queen of Hiliora's armor, while the fate of a kingdom quietly leaned over my shoulder. My name is Ironvale. I was an armor technician. Not a knight. Not a noble. Not even a citizen with lineage worth recording. I was the son of a dock welder from the lower rings, educated through merit programs, kept useful because I could repair things no one else understood anymore. I had fixed military exosuits before. Elite ones. Classified ones. But this was different. This armor had bonded to its wearer on a neural level. The Aegis Regalia wasn't just worn, it listened. It learned. It synchronized emotion, intention, instinct. And the queen, Serafina Lis Heliora, was still inside it. Unconscious. Alive. Barely. The med-clerics said removing the armor too quickly could kill her. The general said waiting too long could do the same. The AI caretakers refused to intervene without manual authorization. So the responsibility fell to me. A nobody. I activated the armory's isolation field, sealing us in. The hum of ancient power surrounded me as I approached the suspended armor frame, its once pristine surface scorched and fractured, faint energy pulses flickering like a dying heartbeat. "All right," I whispered, more to myself than to her. "Let's keep you alive." I didn't know then that fixing her armor would change everything. I didn't know that the moment I synchronized my tools with the Regalia's core, the kingdom would begin watching me. Or that, by dawn, rumors would spread faster than wildfire. That by nightfall, they would chant a word I never thought would be attached to my name. Groom. Queen Serafina was already a legend before she ever wore the armor. She was crowned at 19 after her father died, holding the northern shield line against the mechanized dominion. She inherited a fractured kingdom, a war on 3 fronts, and a nobility that expected her to be ornamental. Instead, she rewrote doctrine. She took the throne, took command of the military, and then, against the unanimous protest of her council, took the field herself. The Aegis Regalia had been designed for a king centuries earlier. It rejected every pilot candidate until Serafina stepped into it. The armor accepted her without resistance, synchronizing at a level never recorded. They said the armor had finally found its ruler. They also said she was reckless. I disagreed. From the few briefings I'd attended, she was precise. Calculated. She led from the front because she understood morale, because she refused to ask soldiers to bleed where she would not. That was why the people adored her. That was why the nobles feared her. And that was why, when the armor failed during the Battle of the Cinder Expanse, panic spread like a plague. The failure wasn't her fault. I could see that the moment I opened the Regalia's spine casing. Someone had sabotaged the nanoforge governor, forcing the system to overdraw under combat stress. An elegant failure. Deadly. Plausibly deniable. Treason, I muttered. As I worked, my tools danced between physical components and holographic diagnostics. I had to be careful. Every adjustment resonated through her neural link. Too abrupt, and her heart rate spiked. At one point, her fingers twitched. I froze. Easy, I murmured instinctively, lowering the power feed. I've got you. The words slipped out without thought. Later, I would replay that moment endlessly. I stabilized the armor's internal systems first, diverting power to life support. Then I rewrote the nanoforge safety parameters manually, bypassing the corrupted governor entirely. It was risky. If I was wrong, the armor could overload. If I was right, the regalia hummed. The fractured plates began to realign, nanites knitting metal like flesh. Her vitals steadied. The armor's core glowed a steady blue. I exhaled for what felt like the first time in hours. Then her eyes opened. Queen Seraphina looked straight at me.
Not past me.
Not through me. At me. You're not a medic, she said, voice hoarse but clear. I swallowed. No, Your Majesty. Then why are you the one keeping me alive? Because everyone else was afraid, I almost said. Instead, I bowed awkwardly. Because I know the armor. She studied me in silence. Even weak, even suspended in half-repaired exoskeleton, she radiated authority. I felt you reroute the governor, she said. No one else has ever dared. I didn't see another option. A pause. Then, quietly, thank you. Those 2 words hit harder than any royal decree. I returned to my work, unaware that the armory's internal recorders, meant only for diagnostics, were already being accessed by people who would spin gratitude into scandal. Part 3. Whispers Become Fire. I slept for exactly 4 hours. When I woke, the city was already buzzing. It started with the technicians. You were alone with her? They let you touch the regalia? Is it true she spoke to you first? By mid-morning, it reached the barracks. By noon, the lower districts. By evening, the court of houses. Someone leaked a still image from the armory feed. Me standing close to the queen's armor, hand braced against her shoulder plating, head bent near hers. Out of context, it looked intimate. Out of context was all the kingdom needed. I was summoned to the palace under guard. Not arrested, not honored, simply escorted like a package. No one quite trusted. The throne room was full. Nobles in chroma silk, generals in dress armor, ministers with eyes sharp as knives. Queen Seraphina sat upright now, her armor repaired enough to be disengaged, though she wore a lighter ceremonial variant. She looked different. Not weaker. Sharper. Iron Veil, she said, voice carrying easily. Step forward. I did. A noblewoman rose immediately. Your Majesty, before this commoner speaks. Sit, the queen said, without raising her voice. The woman sat. Seraphina turned back to me. You repaired the Aegis regalia. Yes, Your Majesty. You identified Sabotage. Yes. And you saved my life. I hesitated. The armor did most of the work. She smiled faintly. So modest. Murmurs rippled through the room. Then someone, God's help them, laughed. Another voice followed, louder. Perhaps the armor listens because it senses royal compatibility. Laughter grew. I felt heat rush to my face. The queen's gaze hardened. Explain, she commanded. A minister cleared his throat. The people have been speculating. About why the regalia stabilized only under Technician Vale's intervention. And why you permitted him such proximity. Silence stretched. Then, from outside the throne room, faint at first, then unmistakable, came chanting.
Groom. Groom.
Groom. My stomach dropped. Seraphina stood. The chanting grew louder. Groom.
Groom. Groom.
She raised her hand. The palace went silent. My personal life, she said evenly, is not a tool for your amusement or political leverage. Her eyes flicked to me, just briefly. But neither will I allow the man who saved my life to be smeared or silenced. She turned back to the court. Technician Vale is hereby placed under royal protection until the sabotage investigation is complete.
A beat.
And until these rumors burn themselves out.
They didn't.
They spread. Royal protection felt a lot like a cage. I was moved into palace quarters, not luxurious, but secure. Guards followed me everywhere. Courtiers stared like I was an exotic animal that might suddenly start talking. Children bowed to me in the halls. Someone left flowers outside my door. Someone else left a ring. I didn't sleep much. Serafina summoned me often, always under official pretenses. Armor recalibration, diagnostics, advisory consultations. Always in public rooms. Always watched. But something unspoken hung between us. One night, after a particularly long session adjusting the regalia's neural buffers, she dismissed the attendants. "Stay," she said when I turned to leave. The door sealed. She exhaled, shoulders relaxing for the first time I'd seen. "I hate this," she admitted. "The rumors? All of it. The way they reduce everything to spectacle." I nodded. "I never wanted this." "I know." She studied me. "That's why it scares them." "Me? You didn't seek power. And yet you have influence." I laughed weakly. "They're chanting a joke." "Jokes shape reality," she said. "Especially when repeated." She stood, pacing. "The houses want to marry me off. Always have. A union they can control. And me? You are inconvenient." I swallowed. "Then say the word. I'll disappear." She stopped. "No," she said softly. "I won't use you like that." Silence settled. "Iron," she said at last. "If the people believe something strongly enough, it becomes difficult to undo." "Is that what you believe?" I asked before I could stop myself. She met my eyes. "I don't know yet." That answer was worse than yes or no. Part 5. The plot beneath the laughter. The sabotage investigation uncovered rot deep in the court. A faction of houses had conspired with the mechanized Dominion, intending to remove Serafina and install a pliable successor. The armor failure was just the first move. When that failed, they pivoted. They fed the rumors. If the queen became distracted, compromised, emotionally entangled, if she married beneath her station, they could fracture her authority. They underestimated her. And me. I discovered the second plot by accident, while recalibrating palace defense drones. A data ghost in the network bore the same signature as the regalia Sabotage. Someone planned to strike during the upcoming Unity Convocation, when the Queen would address the people directly. I took the evidence to her immediately. She listened.
Calm.
Focused. Then she said, "Then we'll let them try." My blood ran cold. "Your Majesty." "We'll end this," she said. All of it. The plan was simple, dangerous, almost theatrical. At the convocation, she would wear the Aegis regalia again, fully restored. Publicly. I would be there too. The conspirators would strike, and we would expose them. The plaza overflowed. Thousands gathered beneath the spires, chanting, cheering, whispering. Groom. Groom. I stood beside the queen, heart pounding. She leaned toward me, voice low. "Ready?" "No," I admitted. She smiled. "Good." The attack came as predicted. Signal disruption, drone override, energy spike aimed at the regalia's core. I countered it manually, fingers flying across a portable interface, overriding the override. The queen moved. The armor blazed. She leapt into the air, landing amid the traitors as the truth broadcast across every screen in the city. Confessions. Transfers.
Proof.
The crowd roared, not with gossip, but fury. When it was over, when the traitors were taken and the plaza calmed, the queen turned to the people. "You shouted a word," she said. "A story." She gestured to me. "This man fixed my armor. He saved my life. He saved your queen."
Cheers.
And I will not pretend that what grows between two people under fire is insignificant. The world seemed to tilt. But neither will I let it be decided by rumor alone. She looked at me. "Iron Veil," she said, "walk with me, not as my groom."
A pause.
But as my equal. The crowd erupted. Epilogue, the shape of a new story. I did not become a prince overnight. I remained an engineer. She remained the queen. But things changed. The kingdom learned that power didn't always come from bloodlines or crowns. Sometimes it came from steady hands, from fixing what was broken, from standing where you were never meant to stand and refusing to move. They still joke. They still whisper. But now, when they chant, it sounds different. Not demand. Not mockery. Hope. And as I stand beside her, sometimes in armor, sometimes not, I know one thing for certain. I didn't fix her armor to change my fate, but fixing it gave me the courage to accept the future we chose together.